Hey guys, it's Adam from Premium Poker Tools, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can use the equity matrix to find spots where you can 3-bet for value. So first of all, what do we need to 3-bet for value? Well, what we need when we want to 3-bet for value is we want to be ahead of the range that our opponent is going to continue with versus our 3-bet. So let's say that our opponent is opening 30% of hands. When we 3-bet, they're not going to call 100% of the time. Maybe they're calling like 15% of the time, let's say. So when we 3-bet for value, we want to be ahead of this 15% range because this is the range that we're going to be playing against post-flop. So when we're 3-betting for value, we want to be ahead of this range, the range that they're actually going to have pre-flop, because they're folding out, all of this stuff right here. So it's not enough to just say that we're ahead of this 30% range. We want to be ahead of the range that they're actually continuing with. So I'm going to just kind of say that we need 55% equity just to be a little bit safe. That might be too conservative of an assumption, especially if we're in position or we have any other post-flop edges. But just to kind of be a little conservative, I'm going to say that we want to have 55% equity to be ahead of this range. So I'm going to simulate and see what hands have, more than the required equity. Actually, I'm going to start over because one important thing to consider is that when they continue versus our 3-bet, they probably don't have hands that they would 4-bet with. So I'm going to remove aces and kings. Some people might even 4-bet queens or ace-king, but I'm going to assume that they're only 4-betting aces and kings. So let's simulate from here. And let's move this back up to 55%. So what we're doing here is we're seeing how different starting hands perform against this range that they're going to continue with versus our c-bet. And, the simulation hasn't finished, but I think we can already see which hands are going to be the profitable ones and which are not. So we can see that against this range right here, it looks like nines plus and ace queen plus has enough equity to justify, 3-betting for value in this spot. And we can see that nines is kind of a little bit on the edge, ace queen is a little bit close. But yeah, we can see that these are the hands that are going to really be solidly, ahead of this range. And remember, we gave ourselves a little bit of a buffer, by saying 55% instead of 50%. If we lowered our standards to 50%, now maybe we can 3-bet like ace-jack. So that's kind of how you can use the equity matrix to see how you perform, against a 3-bet continuing range. And I already ran some other simulations so you can see what if their range is a little bit more narrow when they continue versus our 3-bet. Well, if they're more about like 10% of hands, now ace queen is a lot more of a borderline. I mean, ace queen suited is okay. Nines becomes a hand that we can't 3-bet for value. So now we're looking more about, eliminating ace queen off and pocket nines when their continuing range gets a little tighter. And then finally, I have this other simulation. This is a player who's a little bit more tight. If they're only continuing with nines through queens, these kind of strong hands, about 5% of hands, in that case, it's going to be hard to 3-bet them for value. I think we're really looking at queens plus and, maybe ace-king or pocket jacks. So this is a little bit of a quick video. I just wanted to show you how you can use this tool a little bit to find like value 3-betting spots. I want to end by saying that this all has been a pretty big simplification. There's more to 3-betting than just having, this equity. You want to think about how your hand is going to perform post flop, if you're going to be able to steal pots, if you have implied odds, if you have reverse implied odds. Um, you want to think about maybe if calling is going to be a more profitable play for you. Like, even if you have pocket aces, if you're against like a super taggy opponent who you know that they're just going to barrel all the time, but you also know that once you show some aggression, they're going to back away. Like, flatting could be better than three betting. So three betting is a more complicated, thing. It's not as simple as just looking at this. Like, post flop playability is a big thing. But with that said, I think that this tool is a good starting point for trying to see like when you have enough equity to justify value three betting. So I think this tool is a good starting point. So hopefully that made sense. Hopefully this gives you another way to use the equity matrix to study poker and improve your game, improve your win rate. My name's Adam. I'm the founder of Premium Poker Tools. You can contact me here, contact@premiumpokertools.com. I definitely would love to hear your guys' feedback. And thanks for watching the video, and have a good day.